You wake up before your alarm. Not because you're motivated. Because your body has learned the schedule. It's been trained by years of repetition. The same morning. The same routine. The same destination. You lie there for a moment, staring at the ceiling, and a strange thought creeps in. You're earning more than your parents ever did. More than they imagined possible. And yet, you feel tighter. More constrained. More anxious. This isn't bad luck. And it isn't personal failure. It's design. Most people are taught that a higher salary equals safety. Stability. Progress. But what if the very thing you're relying on for security is the reason you feel trapped? Let me explain how this actually works. Meet someone like millions of others. Mid-30s. Educated. Employed. Well paid by every statistical measure. On paper, this person is doing everything right. Above average income. Consistent paycheck. Benefits. A future that looks responsible. But the paycheck never really arrives all at once. It's quietly sliced apart before it can be questioned. Rent takes its share. Transportation claims another piece. Food. Utilities. Subscriptions. Insurance. By the time the money feels real, it's already gone. What's left isn't enough to build anything meaningful. Just enough to survive comfortably. And that comfort is the trap. Because the system doesn't make you feel poor. It makes you feel successful enough to stop asking dangerous questions. You have a home, a car, a lifestyle that looks good from the outside. So you assume wealth is happening somewhere in the background. It is. What's happening instead is fragmentation. Your income enters in chunks and exits in fragments. Your brain never experiences abundance or loss clearly enough to react. You feel busy, occupied, responsible, not wealthy. This is the first layer of the salary trap. You mistake movement for progress. Now here where it tightens. You're told to improve yourself. So you do. Education, credentials, experience, often with debt attached. That debt quietly sets a minimum income you must maintain just to stand still. So you find a better paying job. And the moment you do, something automatic happens. Your life expands to match the new number. A slightly nicer place feels justified. A better car feels earned. Conveniences replace patience. None of these decisions feel reckless. They feel logical. But together, they lock the door behind you. Because now you don't just want the paycheck. You need it. Your lifestyle has become dependent on uninterrupted income. This is where job security flips into financial vulnerability. You're no longer choosing to stay. You're unable to leave. Opportunities don't feel exciting anymore. They feel dangerous. Risk isn't adventurous. It's terrifying. And the cruel part is that no one forced this on you. The system didn't demand it. It simply offered upgrades. And human psychology did the rest. We are wired to interpret progress as visible improvement. Bigger, newer, better, not as freedom. So every raise tightens the loop instead of loosening it. Someone earning $50,000 can feel just as trapped as someone earning $500,000. If their expenses rise to meet the number. Income doesn't create freedom. Margin does. And the system works very hard to eliminate that margin. Let me tell you about someone who looked successful from every angle. 6 figures, career growth, stability, but every time the thought of leaving crossed his mind, his body reacted before logic could intervene. Tight chest, sinking stomach, because his income wasn't optional, There was a house payment waiting, multiple vehicles, long-term commitments signed years ago. When a raise came, it felt like relief, like oxygen. But within months, the pressure returned. Costs adjusted upward. Unexpected expenses appeared. Life recalibrated to consume the increase. Nothing changed. That's the most dangerous illusion of the salary system. You believe raises move you forward. In reality, they often just increase the speed of the treadmill. Your obligations grow faster than your control. And when every dollar is already assigned, you lose flexibility. You can't pause. You can't pivot. You can't experiment. You're predictable, dependable, which makes you valuable to everyone except yourself. Banks love you. Landlords love you. Subscription services love you. Because your paycheck is already spoken for. Now ask yourself something honestly. If your income stopped tomorrow, how long could you maintain your life? Not emotionally, mathematically. If the answer is weeks instead of months, you're not secure. You're one disruption away from stress. And most people live this way for decades. They call it adulthood. Responsibility. It's normal, but normal doesn't mean safe. It means common. And common systems don't optimize for your freedom. They optimize for stability and compliance. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop asking how to earn more. Start asking where your money actually goes. And why it leaves so easily. Income is temporary. It stops the moment you stop working. Wealth is different. Wealth stays. It compounds. It gives you options. The gap between what you earn and what you keep is the only number that matters. And protecting that gap feels uncomfortable at first, because it goes against everything you're encouraged to do. It feels like holding back when you could upgrade, like staying smaller when others are expanding. But that gap is where independence lives. When you deliberately keep expenses below income, you regain leverage. When you redirect excess into assets instead of obligations, you change the relationship. And something subtle happens once you build even a few months of buffer. Your decisions shift. You negotiate differently. You say no more easily. You stop clinging to situations that drain you. Not because you're reckless, because you're no longer desperate. The goal was never to quit working overnight. The goal is to stop being dependent on uninterrupted income to survive. Because the moment you don't need the paycheck, it loses its power over you. That's real security. The salary trap is real. It's polished. It's socially accepted. But it isn't inevitable. The people who escape it aren't special. They just saw the system clearly and chose differently. They realized comfort isn't freedom. And busy isn't wealthy. If this breakdown made something click, take a moment to like this video. Subscribe if you want more clear-eyed looks at how money actually works. And share it with someone who's doing everything right, but still feels stuck. I'll see you in the next one.